This one activity that you can do before bed as you're falling asleep will help you reprogram your mind. The practice of liminal dreaming, which I'm going to explain to you how it works and how you can apply it, is one of my favorite practices. It's very calming and relaxing, and I really think that you're going to enjoy it. But this one practice will help you release limiting beliefs, encourage new supportive habits in your life, help you to break old habits. It can help you transform your thoughts, your beliefs, your patterns of behavior. And it's a tool that really will serve you well on your self-care and personal development journey. My name is Aaron. I'm a certified life coach, and I specialize in metaphysics and self-care practices for personal development and growth. So let's talk about the liminal states or liminal dreaming. I'm going to explain to you what these are, how they work, and how you can apply them to your life. I would definitely put liminal dreaming or the liminal states in the Dreamwork category of practices when I talk about metaphysics. So if you're someone who's interested in working with your dreams or dream interpretation or even lucid dreaming, then this may be a technique that is right up your alley. I do have a practical guide to working with your dreams, and it teaches you 3 practices that you can use other than the ones that we're about to talk about right now. In the workbook, you will learn 3 practices that you can engage with in order to use your dreams for self-care, personal development, to help you investigate questions, get advice from your higher self, find information for next steps moving forward in your life, and all around personal growth. Go ahead and check it out. I'm going to put the link in the description box. Liminal states are in-between states. The word liminal comes from the Latin word limen, meaning threshold. So this is an in-between state. If we're talking about physical liminal states, that could be like a hallway or a stairwell, a place in between other places. Mentally, when we're talking about liminal states, we're talking about the state between waking and sleeping and the state between sleeping and waking. Hypnagogia is the word hypnos means sleep, agogos means leading into. So this is the state of consciousness that you are in as you are falling asleep. It's typically a state that people slip through quickly. You may not even really realize what's going on as you're losing consciousness. The hypnopompic state, pompe meaning leading out of or leading away from. So this is going to be the state of consciousness between sleeping and waking. So that groggy place that you are in the morning where you are a bit discombobulated right after you wake up from sleep, as things are starting to filter in your mind and you are starting to once again perceive the external environment and begin to make sense of what's going on. The reason is because in both of these places, the brain is in this alpha theta brain wave state. And in this place, the mind is very open and it is easily suggestible. It's like this dreamy hypnotic state, and you can definitely use this state of consciousness that you naturally enter every day, twice a day at least, more if you take naps, in order to help you shift your mindset and thus also shift your behaviors and shift your external circumstances in life. Let me briefly talk about the different brainwave states and how you can really understand them when it comes to self-care and personal development. I did mention that in Hypnagogia and Hypnopompia that the mind is in this alpha theta brainwave state. So let's talk about the brainwave states really quickly. Beta brainwave state is going to be when you are awake and alert. Typically, the focus is going to be external. So you're focused on the world around you, your place in the world. Low beta is going to be a relaxed state. You're awake, you're alert, you're relaxed. Maybe you're reading a book or you're having a friendly conversation with someone. Mid beta is going to be just a bit more active, so maybe you're even more externally focused. You're maybe a bit hyper focused, so maybe you're having a big group conversation or you're introducing yourself in front of a lot of people. And then high beta is going to be where the mind is experiencing those emotional states of very high arousal, anger, fear, frustration, even depression or grief. Next, we have the alpha brainwave state, and this is the mind turning inwards. Perhaps you are in a meditative state, the eyes could be closed, and the focus of awareness is more internal. But this may also suggest a light hypnotic state. This could also be something like daydreaming, where you are awake, you are alert, but you're more in this mental, imaginative domain of awareness. The alpha brainwave state is one that also can correlate with creativity and intuition. So you can imagine that when you are in these imaginative places, these imaginative states of mind, this is where you're really absorbed into your daydreams and your fantasies are just going and you're paying attention to those. Next, you have theta brainwave state, and this is going to be kind of that groggy place. So half awake, half asleep. Theta brainwave state can also indicate deeper states of meditation. And then you have the delta brainwave state, which you experience and correlates with deep dreamless sleep. Also, when you are perhaps in a coma or placed under anesthesia or you lose consciousness. This is a place of deep healing and transformation. There's a lot of hormones that are being emitted by the endocrine system. Your hair is growing, your nails are growing, your organs are repairing themselves. If you've ever watched any of my videos on the practice of yoga nidra, which is very, very similar to liminal dreaming, and these practices and the states can even overlap, then you know yoga nidra is a practice where you consciously access the delta brainwave state, to use this state of consciousness as a place for deep healing and transformation, working with your mind and your beliefs and your behaviors. So let's talk about the process that you will use for hypnagogia. This may be a little bit more accessible to everyone. So once again, hypnagogia is the state of consciousness that you are in as you are falling asleep. Your whole overall goal is going to be first learning to recognize this state. So once again, typically you're a bit unaware because you're groggy, you're losing consciousness, and what you're trying to do is have an element of awareness during this place where typically you would be unaware. So you need to be able to allow the mind to be awake and the body to relax. You're trying to first recognize when you are in this space, and then you're going to try to stay in that place and keep yourself in this liminal state for as long as possible without falling asleep. So in your overall process, the first thing that you want to do, of course, is have a goal or an intention, something that you're trying to shift or transform or improve in your life, whether that be thoughts that you're dealing with, beliefs that you have, or even patterns of behavior that you're engaging with, and you're like, you know what, I really want to make a change in my life. So you have decided what that is, and you're going to create 1 to 3 affirmations. I would suggest creating these in the present tense. They can begin with I am, but they don't have to. I would just make sure that they're written in the present tense, that they are concise, and they are short enough for you to memorize and easily memorize. You're going to commit those affirmations to memory, and then before bed, you're going to do this practice. You're actually going to get into bed, and I would highly advise first beginning by just laying on your back or even laying reclined. Don't lay in the position that you use to go to sleep. You want your body to be able to relax, but not laying in the position that you use to go to sleep is going to allow you to maintain some mental alertness just because your body isn't too comfortable. What you're going to do is anchor your awareness using some sort of sense. So you could be focusing on the sounds that you hear. You could be focusing on the sensation of your body against the sensation of your mattress or whatever, surface you are sleeping on. I mentioned before yoga nidra. So if you're someone who's practiced yoga nidra before and you are familiar with the techniques like rotation of consciousness or even mindfulness of breathing, counting your breaths, you could do something like that. This is going to allow you to relax. You're trying to relax more and more and more, but you're trying to keep the mind awake and aware so that you don't completely fall asleep. After you notice that you are starting to fall asleep, and you'll also notice that you are in a more mental domain, things seem more dreamy, perhaps you're even beginning to lose consciousness and then realize you're losing consciousness, and then you bring yourself back. So you're kind of in this in-between state. You want to go ahead and begin repeating your affirmations to yourself mentally. Now the practice is very simple. It's not much to it, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. Simple doesn't always mean easy. You're going to be dealing with, once again, trying not to lose consciousness and completely fall asleep when you're in the hypnagogic state. When you're in this state, you have a tendency to lose awareness, which also means that you're going to have a tendency to forget that affirmation. That's why you want them to be easy to remember and easy to commit to memory. You're going to be repeating it over and over and over to yourself in the liminal state, but sometimes you may forget what the end of the affirmation is. Sometimes you may lose consciousness in the middle of the affirmation. Lightly have the focus of awareness on those affirmations, mentally repeating them over and over and over. And then once you find that you're having difficulty maintaining awareness, you may just fall asleep. In the beginning, of course, you're probably going to do that a lot, and you're going to have little time where you're actually stable enough to repeat the affirmations. As you go on, you will improve, but eventually still you may just naturally fall asleep, and it may come to a point where you need to roll out of the position that you are in and into a more comfortable position, and then allow the body mind system to naturally fall asleep. I know you're getting your learning on, but I want to quickly draw your attention to the crystal jewelry that I'm wearing. Typically I wear something different in each video. This is a labradorite, and here I have some elite noble shungite with pyrite, as well as a Herkimer diamond necklace. You can find handmade crystal jewelry and crystal rolled incense, along with small batch handmade Florida waters in the HIYERAlignment.com metaphysical shop. Your support means a lot, and it helps me to continue making self-care and personal development tutorials and resources just like this one. Check out the link to my shop in the description box below. And now let me continue giving you the tips, tools, and techniques that you can use in order to create a positive transformation in your life. The hypnopompic phase is similar, but it does require a bit more alertness, because you are going to go the entire night having slept, and then when you awake in the morning, you're going to not move. You're not going to move. You're not going to open your eyes. When you start to realize that you are waking up, the first thing that you want to do is go ahead and mentally repeat those affirmations over and over and over to yourself as you are waking, before you reach beta brainwave state. Of course, beta brainwave state is you're externally focused, you're completely alert, you're completely aware, you're completely awake. So you're trying to mentally repeat those affirmations when you are naturally in that alpha theta brainwave state. And with enough practice, you will be able to maintain a sense of relaxation and composure with a slight mental alertness, so that you can be stable in the liminal, in the hypnagogic or hypnopompic state for an extended period of time, and do even more work within these states of mind. If you're someone who is interested in working with states like the liminal state, or even like lucid dreaming or dream interpretation, I would highly advise that you go ahead and grab my Dreamwork exploration guide. It contains 3 different techniques, tutorials on 3 different techniques that you can use with your dreams, with your dream journal, in order to excavate your dreams for patterns, for clues, for hints on all types of things to gain further information and insight into your life. This is especially useful if you are on your self-care or your personal development journey. The dream world is the world of the unconscious mind. It gives you access into things like your current stressors, so that once you identify those, you can bring yourself back into balance and harmony. Your dream state can give you access to information on next steps moving forward in life, or even next steps that you can take to accomplish your goals. Your dreams can help you tap into undiscovered talents, things that you haven't explored about yourself that will allow you opportunities to grow and expand into places that you were never even aware of. In the workbook, along with the tutorials, you're also going to find information on how to set your goals and your intentions for your dream work practice. There's even an additional resources section with links to video tutorials on how to master the preliminaries, the basics that you need for any dream work practice. I'm going to include the link to my dream work practice guide in the description box below, so you can go ahead and check that out. I'll probably also link and tag that dream work exploration guide in this video. If you have any questions or reflections about this practice, go ahead and leave those in the comment section below. I would love to get your thoughts and to hear your personal experiences. While you're down there, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell icon in case you already haven't, so you don't miss any future videos. And in the meantime, in between time, here are 2 more tutorials or practices that YouTube thinks that you would enjoy.